It was too much. That regarding horror streamer Grimmi, formerly of MSM Talent, also known as Mad Scientist Media Talent Management, the subject of 2 prior episodes, and who earlier went from having 40 VTubers on their roster, then down to 15. Later then closing off their MSM Talent roster page with only please email info@msm.gg for roster information left. We'll be including the link to our informative episode about this talent agency down below, along with our dealings with them. But Grimmi's dealings also are with Novel Horizons, creators of numerous VTuber figurines, and who are also hosting numerous meet and greets this weekend at San Japan and San Antonio, Texas. Grimmi yesterday tweeting out, "Hello everyone. I apologize, but I'm no longer going to be at San Japan with Novel Horizons. I wish them well, but this isn't healthy for me. Please support them with the other meet and greets, and please support them with their other projects." Grimmi the night before tweeting out, "I've been really stressed these past few years for a lot of reasons, and I'm coming to terms with a lot at once. Thank you guys for all being so patient when I have some ups and downs. I'm going to work hard to be a nice place you can always rely on to be there when you're down." Grimmi taking to stream last night to talk about not only her dealings with MSM and Novel Horizons, but also the relationship between her, MSM, and her hot sauce business, FalseEyeD, which now at this time, Grimmi does own in full and is fully incorporated. Grimmi beginning this stream by stating how challenging it has been regarding MSM's involvement with her company.
You don't have to share if you don't want to, fam. I kind of do a little, though, at this point, just because, I don't know. I want to preface it with, like, I think everyone is, like, a super nice person. They're all wonderful people. They're all, like, working really hard. I kind of had, like, a really rough year. Like, I realized when I was, like, really upset yesterday, and it was kind of like a culmination of, like, everything lame that had happened for a very long time. But I'm begging you that you preface it with, I did a lot of very negative things in terms of not kind of, like, having better boundaries and I guess just knowing kind of what I should be doing. I've just had, like, a really rough time for, like, a while related to Saucy. And then I realized, like, man, maybe it wasn't my fault and maybe I shouldn't feel, like, so bad about it.
Grimmi then going on to explain FalseEyeD, its relation to MSM Talent, and how they had not been communicating fully to her regarding this business for a year.
But, like, what's Saucy? It's the sauce company that I own, but it's gonna be taking a little bit to come out there because, I am gonna be starting with nothing from the old stuff. So, I'm gonna be reordering my stock, and the reason that I'm doing that is because the place that it was at was not really communicating with me about it, and I realized that it had been like a year of that happening with like all of the saucy stuff, and they probably didn't even really want to do it because it was such like a weird situation, and they probably had no idea what went on from my perspective, so it's been really stressing me out and taking up a lot of my time, and then I realized, like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm starting to, like, not even enjoy streaming. I'm like, dreading having to, like, wake up every day and deal with all of this. Like, it just sucks. Like, and it's gonna be like this forever unless I just let go of it, so.
Grimmi then explaining how MSM got involved more than originally planned with FalseEyeD.
With my initial stuff, I wanted to just do a hot sauce flavor for Grimmi, like, for my, for my merchandise, for my collective memorabilia, and when I was at MSM, it kind of got turned into, like, a bigger thing. Like, initially I was just going to order it and, like, kind of, like, ship it from, like, just, like a nearby place, like, hire people to do it, not, like, not really have it go and be as connected to MSM as, like, it was. And I think they're very nice people, and they really did, like, intend to, like, help me. Like, one of the things was that MSM was giving me, like, a nice, like, huge loan to, like, start the company, like, and it wasn't negative, like, they just did it, like, no questions asked, and they helped with the legal stuff, and they made sure the LLC was going really good, and, like, they did a lot of really good stuff, like, I appreciated it. It's just also they wanted it to be shipped from a different place, which was maybe not my favorite thing, since I was very excited about looking at it and, like, having it, too. They really wanted to be, like, a big part of it and be part of the distribution, and they were being very kind, like, they were essentially asking for, like, very little. They were shipping it out themselves. Like, they didn't even ask for, like, a salary and stuff, but I was like, I don't mind paying. I just want to, like, I want to have this be going super, super well, so the logistics sound rough. Yeah, I wasn't really connected to it, like, since it wasn't, like, from my location, and looking at it more, since it shipped from, like, a different state, and, like, was sold in, like, a different state, My taxes are gonna be absolutely, like, hell this year.
Grimmi then describing how it took quitting MSM for things to begin to work out.
I'm determined to have it work out. I'm just kind of starting from nothing again, because, like, one of the big things I was upset about was, like, it took, like, when everyone was getting their hot sauce and stuff, it took, like, 2 months of, like, I asked, like, 6 times if they could send it to me, and I was like, I don't really feel comfortable just being, like, the person that's marketing this stuff. Like, I think you guys kind of get at this point, like, I don't want you to buy stuff you don't need. And I don't want you to, like, feel like you have to go and get things out of, like, a sense of, like, oh, it's a limited time thing, etc., etc. So I did not feel very good just doing the marketing and, like, not being able to, like, really have any of it for a while. So it took me about 2 months, and I had to, like, say that I wanted to, like, quit, like, and not, like, be a part of the company anymore.
Grimmi now detailing how a figurine project had gotten dropped when she was with MSM.
One of the things I was really excited for was, like, I guess, like, my ultimate thing, like, as a VTuber was, like, I really want to get a figure someday. Like, even if it's just a small one, like, that's, like, my ultimate thing. Like, I'm very excited. And a lot of stuff got dropped when I was at MSM. I don't think they're bad people at all. I think they're very kind, and I think that they were extremely overworked and extremely tired, and had to do a lot for themselves and a lot for people and all that other stuff. But, I don't know. It made me really, really bummed out when... I don't know. I don't think it mattered to them at all, so that was rough. But, like, they were like, this'll be cool, we'll do it. But I think they were just trying to make me feel like, you know, it don't matter, whatever. And they apparently completely forgot about it, so I don't know. That was probably the most upset I'd been about VTubing stuff. And I found out about that when, like, I was leaving MSM. I was like, oh, so about these projects, and they were like, oh, you only have one. It's just the Hoyoverse thing, so I was really down about that because there was a lot of stuff where they were like, we're gonna be doing all this stuff, and we're gonna get everyone involved, and we're so excited, and we're so happy, and I don't know, like, that just completely, like, crushed my spirit yesterday when I talked to them, and I realized they didn't even remember it. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was just a rough experience for me overall, so. And I was, like, between, like, my manager and them, and, like, they're very good friends, so. I don't know. It made me really sad, though, for some reason, so. I don't think it mattered to them even a little. They didn't say sorry or anything. It's okay. It sounds like they did stretch themselves too thin. I was starting to get into the same place of just, like, asking over and over again, like, hey, when is this gonna get done? Or, like, can I get an update on it? I even offered to, like, have someone drive out there and, like, pick up the stuff from them. And they just said, like, oh, we'll count the boxes for you, and then they started ignoring me again, and I was like, it's just like before. This sucks. This really sucks. No, okay, sorry. You don't need to give me anything, because I'm crying, thank you. Sorry. I will not cry. It was a rough situation, and I always felt like I was being really unfair. I felt like I was being super unfair all the time, and like I was just not worth it, which kind of sucked. I don't know. But the thing is, I know that they're all very nice people, and I don't want to create any problems for them, and I think that they've done a lot of really amazing things by just trying to go out there and, like, you know, create something. Not a lot of people do go out there and actually do things. I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. I just feel very hurt. It was like this with, like, a bunch of projects, but this one was just, I don't know. When I talked to them about it and I realized it wasn't even something they discussed or really talked about and, like, had no interest in, it just really hurt my feelings, so.
Further, Grimmi detailing how her primary choices were pushed aside for choices given to her.
I feel kind of down about it. There was also other little things, like, well, not little, but there were certain people I wanted to work with for, like, the stuff, but it was kind of just like, oh, we'll just work with these guys instead for right now. And that was okay-ish. I'm getting in a better place with all that and stuff, too. I think I kind of just should have pushed a lot harder for the things that I wanted and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's very hard to plan around your own career and, like, do stuff if you never know what's happening because everything will just get dropped without anyone telling you. Just like, we're gonna work with this company. Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're gonna get these guys involved and then we'll get you involved. And it's like, cool. And then that never happens, ever. And it's just like, oh yeah, why'd you even, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't know, why'd you believe me? Like, it's just like, it sucked. It really sucked.
Grimmi then further speaking about contracts regarding others' IPs and Saucy Biz, as ideally others would be joining her on the labels of these hot sauces, but then how initiating these contracts was never fulfilled.
But the other stuff was that, like, I don't know, the people from MSM were more like consultants than like managers. Not the managers themselves. Like, there were a lot of very nice people there, and I don't know, I think everyone was very, very nice there. It's just that it was more like a consultancy, and like things were never followed through with, so I was very down. I guess the biggest thing with Saucy, and the thing I was most upset about, was like, it was like a consultancy. This is kind of the thing that made me most frustrated, was this is more of like a business thing, and it's very easy to overlook this kind of stuff, and I'm not like criticizing them harshly. I should have been keeping better track of this myself as well, because it was my business. I kind of got steamrolled, and it wasn't their fault at all. I didn't find out that the people that were getting their sauces, their IPs for like sauces and stuff, weren't on contract until I kind of had gotten really angry and like was like, I want to start running the company more myself. And I was like, can I get the contract for the person I want to make a sauce with? And they were like, oh yeah, we should finish getting that contract made. And I was like, oh, sorry for saying the F word, but I was like, oh, I'm screwed. Oh no. And one of them backed out, which is fair. That was really crappy that happened. So I had to pay for that. I was very stressed out after that point, going forward, really stressed out.
Grimmi then stating in retrospect how she instead wishes perhaps she had simply started the company without the loan from MSM.
I know it's not good to air all this stuff out, but I also feel like I really should have, like, taken better care of this stuff when it was coming up, and probably consistently pushed for things like when I was excited about them. I just assumed this was kind of all getting taken care of. But yeah, I felt extremely bad when I realized that, like, it was probably just gonna be more of the same stuff. It was gonna be someone replying every so often and going, yeah, we'll get this out to you, and meanwhile, I don't know, I was really down. Everyone's a very nice person, and I'm not trying to create trouble for them, and I really do think that, like, I don't know, they worked extremely hard to get to the places they were, with their own, like, capabilities and their own abilities. So I'm not trying to be like, this sucks, these people suck. I think they just didn't really realize it meant a lot to me. So, that's it. Like, I really do believe that, like, and I'm not trying to, like, make them out to be, like, bad people. Like I was saying, like, they did give me, like, a loan for as much as I needed to get the company off the ground. It's just, I think I might have been a little bit happier to just, you know, have made it myself with the money I set aside for it.
At this time, Grimmi would begin to speak on not working any further with Novel Horizons.
I'm gonna be, like, not working with Novel and stuff, like, with the meet and greet, so I'm sorry for the people that said they were excited for that and were planning on going to that. I deeply apologize. And I do think that you should still go, and that you should still support the other people there, and that each and every person involved in those meet and greets and each and every person at that company is a good person that is doing their best. But I just didn't want to have to, like, keep going through that forever, because I was starting to get the same vibe of, why are you even upset about this? And I don't know, it just felt like a lot for a long time. A lot for a very long time.
Grimmi then further speaking on presumably boxes of hot sauce that MSM still has, but will not be sold by her.
It is a lot, but it's okay. I'm very happy to be where I am now. I said that since I don't want them to sell it, because, like, that would maybe make it so, like, people would assume I'm associated with the company, that they can... It really sucks, but they can destroy all the stock they have, or they can give it away, or, like, whatever, and I'll figure things out. So, I'm gonna just go back to square one, or I guess, yeah, square one, and, you know, order stock myself again, get it all working myself again, and this time I'll do it to the best of my abilities. And I apologize for anyone that got their shipments late, or did not get their shipments. I don't think that was the case, but if anyone ended up not getting theirs, and if you'd like me to make that right, please let me know. I do still have some, so I will make it right as soon as you email me at info@saucy.biz, but Saucy is probably going to be taking a little bit of time for me to, I'm going to take a little bit of time, so to get it back up and running. It's not gonna be as soon as I thought it would, so I'll let you know when it comes about. Also, no, I don't have to make a new LLC. I am the sole owner of the LLC, and I'm very excited about that.
This all culminating in much stress for Grimmi.
The lawyer I worked with was very wonderful, and I do think that everyone involved at MSM and everyone involved at like other places like Novel are all very nice people, and they do have their cred together. It's just a matter of like I felt very lame all the time. Like having to see everyone have the hot sauce and just feel like I was kind of being like rude whenever I asked about it, because like, I don't know, like I tried posting it in so many different places, like too, like just like, could I, like I'd say like, could I get some of that? Could I do that? And it took me like being ready to leave to like get things resolved. It kind of sucked, but they all worked extremely hard, and like they probably didn't really care about this, and that's okay too. And that's more than fair. They had no reason to have to like get me the hot sauce and stuff, but I just would have liked if like I could have gotten, I don't know, it almost felt like, are they angry at me because they don't know what happened? Do they even know about the contract stuff? Do they even know about how much money sink it was? Do they even know about any of this? Or do they just think I'm being annoying and unreasonable for like having like split from like the MSM stuff? Like, what do they feel about this? Do they know anything going on? And if they did, would they care? I guess it didn't really matter, like, with the figure stuff from, like, before, because I don't know, they might have just been like, they're not as big as this other person, they wouldn't make sales, which is, I think, how people have to look at it, so I don't blame them. It just, in combination with everything for so long, like, I was stressed out this past year. I was really stressed out, and so I was very sad and upset, and I just kept feeling like, well, I'm obviously to blame for this. They're acting like it's just me being silly. They never apologized, like, it's... Yeah, I don't know. I guess it comes down to that. And I'm sure they'd have a much different story, and I'm sure I annoyed them in small ways or giant ways, and, you know, that's just how it be, I think. I don't want to blame them for it, and I don't want to, like, take, like, no accountability. So, I think it was just a bad fit.
And then very disappointingly, Grimmi describing how perhaps they never cared.
Thank you very much for coming by. I'm sorry that I was so angry today. And so, I just cried, like, all day yesterday. Like, I was so upset, and I was so frustrated and angry. I'm not usually the type of person that wants to, like, bring anything up and, like, talk about this stuff, but I was just so... I think it was just, like, the straw that, like, broke the camel's back. Like, it was, like, they never cared about this stuff, and that's okay. Like, they're a business, and they have their own stuff to keep track of and take care of, but... I don't know. It just really hurt after all the other stuff, so... It's okay. I still want to support them, even if, like, I'm not really cool with how things went. I don't know, please also be behind Novel Horizon. They have a lot of really wonderful people for their next meet and greet, and they're a very kind company in terms of making it so independent VTubers can have figures and stuff. Like, that's crazy. Like, can you believe that? That's not something that, like, would have been possible, like, a few years ago. Like, they've worked incredibly hard to give people a lot of, like, success and chances, and like they've really gone the distance for a lot of people, and that makes me incredibly happy to see. So I'm not saying this is like a hit piece. I'm not saying this to like make people think like, how dare they. I was just very sad in combination with like the MSM stuff and like the hot sauce stuff and like it not really getting the attention that it needed, and I was just like, okay, like I'm not probably gonna, am I even gonna get it back? Do they even like view this as like a negative? Like, I've spent so much money and time on this, and it's just, oof. It's okay, though. And I want to thank Novel, too. Like, we had some stuff in development, and I'm just gonna pay them for the development costs and stuff, but they were very kind. They were doing their best. It's just I've met other vendors that have been very, a little bit more friendly and, like, not kind of like, I don't know, if they dropped a project like that, I think they'd at least say sorry, so I want to keep going.
As a quick aside, Grimmi would go on to speak about her negative experience with yet another company, and the decision if she had moved forward with this company, that she would not have had an income for 6 months.
And that's not the only, like, bad interaction I've had with the company. Like, there's been some kind of crazy stuff. Like, I'm not naming names or getting into it, but, like, there's been situations where, like, I wasn't gonna have, like, a source of income for, like, 6 months, like, if I went in the direction I was going. And, like, it was just, like, well, you just have to deal with it, you can take out loans, and it was, like, that's not cool with me. Like, there's a lot of really rough stuff where, like, I was, like, you know, at least lucky enough to not be, like, in a situation like that. Like, I'm very happy and healthy to, like, be where I'm at and, like, have the issues that I have instead of, like, much larger ones. Like, I know people have been, like, through absolute crazy stuff in this industry, and they've suffered immensely. Like, you've seen a lot of, like, really, 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 really mistreated people. And I think at some point, like, people stop kind of thinking about each other as, like, you know, people, and start thinking about each other as, like, sales goals and quotas and, like, numbers, but I don't want to deal with that anymore, and it's been one of the harder things. I want everyone to get along, and I hope that someday we all can, and I hope that someday we can all have what we want in life, whether it be successful as being a VTuber, or it be successful at something else in life that you really love, and doing it as a hobby, or anything in between.
Grimmi then ending with this statement.
I think there's going to be people with good and bad intentions in life, but I don't think MSM was that for me, or for most of the people I know, but they did kind of mismanage my stuff, and I realized with this specific thing, wow, that was kind of crappy. There was also, like, stuff with, like, you know, I don't know, I have to really pull it together in terms of, like, everything that, I need to with accounting and stuff like that, but I'm gonna figure it out, and I will. And I don't want anyone to feel like, well, I'm gonna help you do this, or I'm gonna help you do that. If it's a thing where it'll benefit the company that I'm working with, I would love to. And I would also love to never, ever, ever, ever talk about anything like this again, because it's very uncomfortable for everyone involved, and I'm sure it doesn't make them feel happy either. It doesn't make me feel happy, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut from this point on, but I'm saying this as someone that does VTubing and is a little bit silly and not very smart. Please make sure what you're putting yourself into and be careful. And there you are. That's it. I'm still upset. I could still be angry, but I can also know that, like, they're nice people, so that's pretty much it. I can also know that I needed to be a lot less, like, kind of, like, swishy and flippy and, like, just be like, everything's okay. I'm kind of bummed out, but everything's okay. Like, I needed to be much more firm, even if it made people upset. And that's the long and the short of it. This isn't a hit piece. This isn't to make them look bad or, like, feel crappy. Like, it's just, I felt really lame for a long time, and I was like, man, I don't know if people even know what happened with it, and that kind of makes me feel sad. But yeah, it sucked. And I was so down, but it sucked, but it's okay. It's gonna be okay. That's usually how it goes. I'm okay. I really mean it. I felt a lot better getting away from that kind of stuff. Like, I knew that, like, the hot sauce wasn't probably, I don't know, it might have gotten shipped out, but it was also just, like, the same feeling as, like, oh yeah, we'll do it, and then, like, ignoring it. Oh yeah, we'll do it, and then ignoring it. Oh yeah, we'll do it, and then ignoring it. And that, like, just, I don't know, I guess I kind of got triggered with, like, how many things happened with that for, like, months when I was trying to get it initially, and just seeing everyone eat it and just go, like, could I have it? Okay, well, we're doing more important stuff, Grimmi. And it's like, okay, alright. Yeah, I was really bummed out about it. And I just wanted to say what happened with Saucy so people could know. But again, they helped me with a lot. They helped me set up the Shopify page, which is... It's going okay. There's some issues with it because it was set up by someone else, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm figuring it out. I'm very happy to figure it out. I'm very excited to figure it out. It'll be okay. I don't want to just forget, like, about all the things they helped me with. Like, just because it wasn't something I could deal with in the end, they were a very kind, like, group to me, and I appreciate them, so I do, even if I don't want to work with them or talk to them. I don't want to spend any more time, like, feeling that way, but I appreciate them. So that's it, and I mean that, and you can believe me or not, but that's how I feel. Anger is something I've struggled with for years. It's okay to be angry. Oh, I'm angry! I'm extremely angry! I'm extremely angry, and I was very crushed to realize that, like, that wasn't even really something they considered with the figure. Like, I was crushed. I cried for, like, hours. I was really upset. I asked a few people, like, I told a few people about it and was just like, should I even be upset about this? I know I'm being very, like, silly about it. And they were like, yeah, with everything that happened, what are you talking about? So, I appreciate it. Like, they didn't say sorry. That was the biggest thing. They didn't say sorry, and that really hurt my feelings, but it's okay. They're doing their thing and they're doing their best, and I really do wish the best for them, so. And that's why I'm saying don't be rude to them, don't think negatively of them. Don't try to hurt them in any way, shape, or form. I think they only had the best intentions, but I think it's also okay that I'm upset, so. Yeah.
Once again, that being horror streamer Grimmi. A special thank you from TVS to her, responding to our inquiries last night, and also providing a blanket permission to use footage from her stream. This Twitch partner no longer working with either MSM or Novel Horizons, while now going on to collab with Beri at Beri Bug, your innocent resident ladybug. The two going on to kick off hashtag VTRP, a GTA 5 RP server as sponsored by Brave Group and involving loads of indie and agency VTubers alike. As that is all for this episode. Coming up next, we look forward to recapping both Anime NYC, Hololive English's Breaking Dimensions concert, and Minato Aqua's graduation from Hololive Japan. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Send in your VTuber news to our Discord, as we'll have more Things VTubers Say for you soon.